Chamberlain Irixtal slammed his staff against the throne room floor. The chime echoed through the vaulted chamber, silencing 1,000 nobles. He fixed his gaze on the human envoy, Mara Kade, standing at the ark's edge. Envoy Kade, Irix intoned, voice steady despite the missing biometric seals on her credentials. Advance to the dais. The queen awaits your vow. Mara Kade stepped forward without hesitation. Her boots clicked on the polished crystal floor. No scan had cleared her. The palace arrays blinked red in Irix's peripheral display. He ignored it. Protocol demanded continuation. Legate Rune Sarek leaned from his shadowed alcove. His mandibles clicked in anticipation. Irix spotted the flicker in Sarek's datapad, a script alteration uploading live. The throne arc hummed to life. Holographic vows projected above the dais, shimmering in Soren script. Mara reached the center. Captain Juno Park, her security shadow, halted one pace behind, hands loose at her sides. Queen Valeth Soren rose from her throne. Her iridescent scales caught the light. She extended one claw toward the hologram. Irix held his breath. Sarek's ploy crystallized. An insult clause embedded mid-vow. Deathworld savage yields to civilized grace. It looped now, broadcasting to every noble's implant. Mara scanned the text. Her eyes narrowed once. Then she straightened.
Sarek surged onto the dais fringe. Recite, human.
Or forfeit the pact. Nobles shifted. Blades whispered from sheaths. Irix's hearts pounded. One outburst, and the court erupted. Humans snapped under pressure. Deathworld records proved it. Queen Valeth's voice cut the air like a laser. Sealed chambers bind all oaths spoken here. Every door irised shut. Thuds reverberated through the hall. 1,000 armed nobles froze. No one breathed. Irix's implants screamed override codes. The Queen's word alone triggered them. Protocol weaponized. Escape impossible. No signals out. The court trapped in her gambit. Mara Kade didn't flinch. She plucked the altered script from the hologram projector. Folded it once. Slipped it into her pocket. Proceed. You recite the vow as amended. Acknowledge your barbarism. Mara tilted her head. The Queen sealed the chamber. I recite the original pact. Irix blinked. The insult clause glowed active. Queen Valeth settled back. Her eyes locked on Mara. Precisely, envoy.
Deviation voids the seal.
Recite true. Nobles murmured. Sarek's ploy backfired. His alteration now damned him under protocol. Mara inhaled. Her voice filled the chamber, clear and unmodified. By stars and void, humanity pledges alliance to Suren Dominion. Mutual defense. Shared frontiers. The hologram flickered. Insult clause dissolved. Sarek's hack exposed, purged by the Queen's seal. Irix's staff trembled in his grip. Humans raged at insults. Archives overflowed with brawls, orbital strikes. Yet Mara pocketed evidence like a minor glitch. Captain Park shifted. One hand brushed her sidearm holster. No draw. Just a glance at Sarek. The legate recoiled. Archivist Nimi Voss hissed from her console. Human arrays spoofed R's pre-entry. Irix signaled attendance.
Guards flanked Sarek. The legate snarled.
This proves nothing. Deathworlders hide savagery. Mara turned to him.
Savagery? I just followed protocol. She tapped her pocket. Your script's logged for review.
Queen Valeth's claw tapped her throne. Legate Sarek, you forced the vow. Now honor it or forfeit your seat. Sarek's spines flattened. He backed away. Nobles parted like water. Irix watched Mara. She stood calm amid the tension. No raised voice, no twitch. Her security captain mirrored it, predator poise without the strike. Panic rippled through the court. Whispers spread. Humans don't erupt. They endure. Worse, they adapt. Nimi Voss pinged Irix's implant.
Data surge. Human restraint defies models.
Palace panic protocols active.
Irix gripped his staff tighter. He'd cued her forward sand seals. Now the Queen's one sentence locked them all in a human's trial.
Mara extended a hand to the Queen.
Alliance affirmed.
Valeth paused.
Then clasped it. Skin met scale. No flinch from either. Doors remained sealed. Nobles held breaths. Sarek's eyes darted to exits that wouldn't yield. Irix realized it then. The human hadn't needed to rage.
Her calm dissected the court. One noble dropped his blade.
It clattered. A dozen followed. The Queen's gaze swept the hall. The test concludes. Restraint binds stronger than fury. Mara nodded.
Pocketed script secure. Park scanned the room once.
Irix's hearts raced. They'd provoked a Deathworlder. She complied. What if they pushed further?
Sarek lunged.
She's masking. Park moved. One step. Hand clamped Sarek's wrist. Twist. The legate dropped. Mandibles slack. No blood. No break. Just control. Nobles gasped. Irix stared. Human discipline read like sorcery. Queen Valith rose again. Chamberlain, log the evidence. Transmit to all sectors. Irix bowed. Fingers flew over his pad. The altered script beamed out as doors unsealed. Air rushed in. Nobles exhaled, but fear lingered. Marakade smiled faintly. Routine diplomacy. Routine. To her. Irix watched her exit the Ark. Captain Park at her flank. Sarek hauled away. The court would rethink humans now, not beasts. Architects of calm amid traps. Neme Voss sidled close. They didn't snap. Models fail. Irix nodded. Worse. They chose not to. Queen Valith's eyes met his. A nod. Survival measured in syllables, and one human's pocketed proof. But Sarek's faction plotted deeper. Whispers already formed. The real test loomed. Guards slammed the Ark doors shut behind Marakade and Captain Park. Sarek's faction nobles surged forward. Mandibles clicked in fury. Irix Tal raised his staff.
Emergency ceremony law. Court freezes.
No exit until audit seals. The hall stilled. Hundreds of eyes locked on him. Protocol bound them tighter than chains. Irix's dual hearts hammered. One slip, and knives flew. Legate Rune Sarek twisted in guard grips. Release me. Humans swear the vow now. Refusal declares war. Mara paused at the Ark's edge. She turned. Calm eyes scanned the script projected on the central dais. No flush, no clench. Plain language reread first, Mara said.
Mark changes real time.
Nobles hissed. Sarek thrashed.
Trickery. Deathworlder rage hides behind words. Queen Valith Soren lifted a claw.
Silence crashed down. 10-minute audit window granted.
Human envoy Marakade, named temporary oath warden. Chamberlain. Enforce. Irix bowed low. His pad linked to the dais projector. Timers ticked. The palace expected tantrum. Roars. Blades drawn. Instead, Mara pulled a slim tool from her vest. Pen, please. A courtier fumbled one forward. Mara took it, marked the script's hollow with precise strokes. Phrase 1, Eternal Fealty changed to Sector Alliance. Gasps rippled. Irix watched her finger trace lines. Steady. No tremor. Humans shredded protocol like routine paperwork. Sarek barked. Lies. She's altering proof. Captain Park shifted. One hand rested on hip. No draw. Eyes tracked every mandible twitch. Neme Voss leaned to Irix. Whispered, data streams fail. Restraint probability 0.3%.
Irix nodded once. His pad logged each mark.
Mara highlighted 5 phrases. 10. Each a trap. Vague oaths binding humans to alien wars. Phrase 12. Mara said. Unquestioned tribute to mutual trade. Intent clear now. Timer hit 5 minutes. Nobles shifted. Whispers clawed at silence.
Sarek lunged against guards.
Death world filth. Park stepped forward. One hand clamped Sarek's shoulder.
Pressure point. Sarek crumpled.
Mandibles gaped. No scream. Just collapse. Court froze. Irix's crest spine stiffened. Human touch disarmed without snap. Sorcery and flesh. Mara continued marking. Ignored the fall. Final change. Sole sovereignty to joint council. Done. Timer beeped 0. Valith rose. Oath warden verified. Restraint binds stronger than fury. Mara pocketed the marked script printout. Nodded. Routine diplomacy. Doors unsealed. Air rushed. Nobles exhaled. Irix's hearts slowed. They'd baited a Deathworlder. She complied, rewrote the trap. Sarek groaned as guards hauled him. Faction eyes burned. Whispers formed. Irix bowed to Valith. Fingers flew on pad. Altered script beamed to all sectors. Evidence logged. Nime sidled close. They didn't snap. Models fail. Worse, Irix murmured. They chose not to. Valith's gaze met his. Nod. Survival in syllables, and one human's pen. But Sarek's faction coiled deeper. Irix felt it. Mandible clicks coded plots. He strode to antechamber.
Guards saluted. Nemi trailed.
Archivist, Irix said. Every legate link. Neme tapped her lens implant. Data scrolled her vision. Sector 7, floods queries. Human violation confirmed. They push sanctions. Irix's staff tapped marble.
Counterscript ready?
Beamed with Mara's marks.
But Rune's kin demand revow.
Public. Hall doors boomed open. A Seric ally noble stormed in. Legate's cousin Vorak. Crest flared red. Chamberlain, emergency recall. Human must re-swear unaltered. Irix blocked the path. Audit sealed.
Queen decrees final.
Vorak thrust a pad. Sector vote binds. Refusal, embargo. Nemi's lens beeped. Vote rigged. 70% Seric loyalists. Irix gripped staff. Protocol war. One word wrong. Humans isolated. Deathworld rage justified. Transmit to Queen, he said. Vaelith entered antechamber. Robes whispered.
Speak. Vorak bowed shallow.
Highness, human tampering. Reswear or war declaration. Vaelith's eyes narrowed. Oath Warden ruled.
Evidence galactic. Human word worthless. Vorak snapped.
Provoke truth. Demand blade oath. Irix tensed. Blade oath. Cut palm. Bind blood. Humans. Unknown reaction. Tantrum certain. Nemi whispered. Sims predict 80% violence. Vaelith turned to Irix. Fetch the envoy. Guards bolted. Minutes ticked. Mara returned. Park flanked. No Russian steps. Highness? Mara said. Vorak pointed. Blade oath. Prove no deceit. Mara tilted head. Clarify terms. Irix translated plain. Bloodbind. Permanent. Mara nodded. Non-invasive scan instead? Verify script authenticity. Vorak laughed. Coward dodge. Park moved. Positioned between. No touch. Just presence. Vaelith raised claw. Proposal noted. Human counter? Diplomacy prefers data, Mara said. Pulled pad. Our logs match yours. Cross-verify. Nemi-linked streams. Hollow bloomed. Identical marks. Vorak faltered. Tamper. Verified. Nime cut. 100%. Court aides murmured outside. Whispers swelled. Vaelith spoke. Sector vote dissolves. Seric faction sanctioned. Envoy, you exit free. Appreciated. But Irix saw Vorak's pad flash. Hidden signal.
To who? They escorted Mara out?
Park scanned arches. Caught a shadow noble. One glance. Shadow fled.
Irix exhaled. Heart steadied.
Nemi gripped his arm. Second attempt inbound. Seric's warship pings orbit. Irix spun to Deus relay. Alarms wailed. Holomap lit. Seric vessel armed. Demand. Human surrender. Vaelith's voice boomed hall-wide. All sectors. Evidence transmits. Stand down or forfeit. Ship held. Minutes stretched. Then retreat signal. Vessel powered down. Nobles cheered. Irix stared.
Human calm dissected the trap again. No outburst.
Just logs. Scans.
2. Nemi updated models. Probability revised.
Human restraint. 98%. Not luck, Irix said. Choice. Vaelith summoned private counsel. Irix entered. Seric chained in corner. Mandibles bound. Log this, Queen said.
Humans architect peace. We wield words.
They wield will. Seric glared. They hide fury. Park entered. Dropped a data chip. Your comms intercept. Plot confessed.
Seric sagged.
Irix logged. Galactic feeds lit. Humans, not beasts. Masters of restraint. But Vorak escaped. Whispers lingered in vents. Deeper plots brewed. Irix's pad chimed. Urgent from Outer Rim. Human aid requested. Deathworld skills needed. Queen's eyes gleamed. Prepare envoy recall. The real test launched. Not fury. Control. Irix bowed. Hearts raced anew. Humans chose calm. What if they chose not to? A shadow moved in hall feed. Vorak's mark. Faction rallied. Council doors sealed. Vaelith leaned close. Chamberlain script the alliance. Their way. Irix nodded. Pen in hand. Like hers. Precision met restraint, but orbit pinged again. Not Sarek. Unknown archivist Nimai Voss slammed her pad onto the council table. Gap confirmed. Chamberlain. Vow table surveillance blanks out for 12 seconds, right at the human's kneel point. Irich Tal's mandibles clicked shut. He leaned over the holofeed, vents hissing cool air against his frills. The Queen's private chamber hummed with sealed doors and flickering orbit pings. Violith Soren watched from her throne dais, eyes like polished obsidian.
Source?
Irix demanded. Sarek's faction, Nimai said. They spliced the feed during the last recess, but no visuals. Just this. She tapped the pad. A shadow flickered. Legate Rune Sarek's cloaked form darting near the table's base. Valith's voice sliced the tension. He plants his final bait. The Alliance vow ceremony begins in one cycle. Chamberlain, confirm the script. Irix nodded, stylus flying across his log slate. Precision words locked fates. Humans knelt at the vow table to seal pacts, custom from their Deathworld archives. Mara Kadei would step forward. Dialogue. Speak restraint into galactic record. Sarek wanted outburst, proof of savagery. Sanctions, seizure of human assets. But Valith had twisted protocol. One sentence from her lips would bind it all. Irix glanced at the chained Sarek in the corner, mandibles still bound, eyes burning.
You waste breath on ghosts, Sarek rasped when guards dragged him earlier. The human fury erupts.
Watch. Now the hall filled.
Nobles rustled in tiered seats. Galactic feeds linked 1,000 worlds. Irix signaled the procession. Captain Juno Park entered first, human security liaison in plain vest, scanning vents with casual sweeps. No weapons visible. No tension in her stride. Mara Kade followed. Envoy's robes draped her frame. Simple weave, no shine. She nodded to Irix at the protocol dais. Chamberlain. Script holds. Affirmative. Envoy Cod. Irix's voice stayed level. Her calm routine chilled him, Deathworlder. Yet she logged crises like meal plans. Hall silenced. We gather for the vow of shared restraint. Humans offer will. We offer words. Legate Rune Sarek's faction contests. Let proof bind us. Murmurs rippled. Sarek's allies shifted in shadows. Vorax remnants, whispers said. Irix's pad vibrated. Nemi, from the archivist alcove. Device confirmed.
Pain field emitter. Subfloor.
Activates on pressure. Irix's hearts stuttered. Pain field. Neural agony, tuned to shred alien nerves.
Humans?
Deathworld tolerance unknown. Sarek's playforce kneel. Trigger scream.
Outburst. Cord fractures. Mara approached the vow table. Polished crystal gleamed under spot lamps. Central pad waited for her knee. Irix watched her feet. One step. Sarek's proxy in the noble tears flashed a subtle mandible twitch. Signal sent. Captain Park paused mid-stride. Her eyes flicked down. No alarm, just a hand slipping to her wrist comm. Heat signature bloomed on Irix's shared feed, device warming under the floor. Mara halted, one step short of the kneel point. She tilted her head. Queen Valith. Protocol notes of variance. Confirm table alignment? Valith's gaze locked on her. Alignment holds, Envoy. Or do humans evade vows? Mara smiled faintly. Never. Merely precision. She shifted. One deliberate step sideways. Boot sole pressed adjacent crystal. Not the trap. Irix's vents froze. Sarek's proxy stiffened. No trigger. Field hummed, silent. Park moved then, silent as mist. Knelt by the table's edge, supposed guard flourish. Her fingers brushed floor seams. A faint click echoed in Irix's audio implant. Tagged, neutralized. She rose, nodded to Mara. Seamless, Neme pinged, seized. Emitter cold. All held breath. Mara knelt now, safe crystal. Voice steady. On behalf of humanity, I vow restraint and alliance. Crisis met with choice, not force. Valith leaned forward. Her sentence dropped like a gravlock. By this vow, any who provoke human restraint forfeits claim to galactic seat. Binding. Eternal.
Gasps echoed. Protocol weaponized.
Sarek's faction paled, mandibles slack. One act denied. Court bound to test humans on their terms. Irix logged it syllable by syllable. Nobles cheered, but fear threaded their voices. Human normalcy, step aside. Tag threat, calm anyway. To them, supernatural. To Mara, routine. Sarek lunged against chains as guards hauled him.
Lies. They hide the beast.
Park glanced his way. No move. Just eyes. Cold assessment. Sarek sagged. Valeth dismissed the hall. Private council reconvened. Nimi burst in. Pad glowing. Feeds. Viral. Galactic Court's query. Human restraint controllable? Models update. 99%. Not control, Irix murmured. Choice. Queen. Envoy duties complete. Valeth's eyes gleamed. Accepted. Your skills lead. Mara nodded. No thrill, no boast. Team preps now. Irix watched them exit. Humans architected calm. Aliens scripted it. Together, unbreakable. But his pad chimed. Orbit ping escalated. Unknown vessel. Vorak signature. Not retreat. Approach vector locked on Palace. Nimi froze.
They rally. Painfield was faint.
Valeth stood. Recall full guard. Script the response. Irix's stylus trembled. Humans chose restraint. What if Vorak forced their hand? Hall feeds flickered. A new shadow darted. Under vow table remnants. Second device? Park's voice crackled in comms. Tagged it. But third, heat bloom. Moving. Irix's hearts raced. The trap deepened. Mara turned back, calm as ever. Issue? Multiple, Park said. Mara exhaled. Stepped forward, not away. Queen's voice boomed. All sectors, stand ready.
Humans lead. Vessel pinged demand. Surrender envoy.
Or Palace falls. No outburst. Just action. Irix logged. Galactic eyes watched. Restraint held. For now. Nimi pulled fresh surveillance. Gap again. Vow table core.
Deeper.
Always deeper. Park knelt once more. Fingers danced. Click. But the vessel fired warning shot. Shields buckled. Mara's hand rose. Captain.
Park complied. Silent burst from wrist disruptor pulse.
Vessel comms jammed. Aliens gaped. Human discipline. Read threat. Neutralize. No rage. Valeth nodded. Log this. They wield will. We wield words. Irix scribed. Court rethought power. One tag. Restraint. Redefined. But Vence whispered. Vorak's core plot. Not outburst. Infiltration. Irix's pad blared. Archivist. Intruder in throne days.
Human aid.
Mara's voice cut in. On site. The real test ignited. Captain Park swept the dais vents. Heat sig locked. Mara flanked, stance loose. Intruder burst. Vorak assassin, blade gleaming. Park sidestepped. Grabbed wrist. Twisted. Blade clattered. Mara pinned legs. No strike. Just hold. Guard swarmed.
Assassin bound. Queen watched.
Why no kill? Mara shrugged. Restraint. Saves questions. Terror gripped nobles. Humans could end worlds. Chose not. Sarek shattered. Monsters! Sarek's chains rattled. Monsters! He snarled. Eyes wild on the bound assassin. Guards surged forward. Blades gleamed. Irix barked the order. Surround the humans. Protect Her Majesty. 20 armored figures closed ranks. They formed a steel ring around Mara and Park. Helms blocked the throne dais. Queen Valeth's view vanished behind a wall of plasteel. Irix froze. Protocol demanded clear sightlines. He had shattered it. Mara raised empty palms. Her voice cut calm through the clamor. Guards. Lower blades. By degrees. The nearest guard hesitated. His vibro edge hovered at Mara's throat. She demonstrated. Arms wide. Keys bent slight. Posture open, balanced. No tension. No threat.
Copy, Mara said. Breathe out.
Blades down. One guard mirrored her. Blade dipped an inch, then another followed. The ring loosened. Blades lowered in sync. Irix's pad trembled in his grip. Humans trained soldiers like children. Valeth's voice thundered from the dais. Chamberlain Irix, stand down all forces. Envoy Mara's posture is now palace protocol. Binding. Enforceable.
The words locked like code.
Court gasped. Protocol elevated a human gesture to law.
One sentence. Irrevocable. Guard snapped to the new form. Mara nodded once. Good. Hold. Neme Voss hissed. From the shadows. Irix. Sarek's courier inbound. Remote activator. Vorak's signature. Irix's vents wheezed. The rivals' plot deepened. Not just assassin. Remote trigger for palace core? Park's head snapped up. No words. A side door hissed open. Courier slipped in. Cloaked, Vorak insignia faint on sleeve. Hand clutched a palm device. Red light pulsed. Park crossed the floor in 3 strides. No weapon drawn. No shout.
Courier, thumbed the activator.
Park's hand clamped the wrist. Twisted, precise. Device clattered free. Courier lunged. Park sidestepped, elbow tapped nerve cluster. Courier crumpled. No bruise. No blood. Park scooped the device. Fingers probed seams. Click. Core ejected. A glowing vial of destabilizer nano. Court nobles recoiled. Vorak nano could melt throne stone in seconds. Mara glanced over. Captain. Secure it, Park nodded. Slid vial into wrist pouch. Zip sealed.
Sarek thrashed in chains. You steal my fire?
Fools. Humans hoard death. Bailiff leaned forward. Sightline clear now. Legat Sarek. Your courier confesses under scan. Plot logged. Sanctions bind your faction.
Irix scribed furiously.
Restraint again. Humans disarmed Doom without a raised voice. Nemi pinged his pad. Surveillance gap closed. But vents whisper more. Core access. Guards held Mara's posture. Blades sheathed. They scanned vents like hounds. Park knelt by the courier. Zip-tied wrists. No excess force. Mara turned to Valith. Questions first, Your Majesty. The vial matches your intruder's blade alloy. Queen's mandibles clicked approval. Interrogate. Here. Court witnesses. Irix signaled techs. Holoprojector hummed. Courier's neural feed spilled data. Sarek's orders. Remote chain to palace core. Backup assassins in service tunnels. Nobles murmured. Fear rippled. Humans had pierced it all. No rage, just steps.
Sarek laughed brittle. You chain me.
They unchain chaos. Death world spawn. Park rose. Eyes locked on a grate. Heat sig flickered. He gestured Mara. She flanked without prompt. Grate popped. Second assassin burst. Blades duel. Vorak fangs bared. Park flowed. Grabbed arm mid-swing. Pivoted. Assassin slammed Matt, breath woofed out. Mara dropped knee on spine. Kinned.
Assassin spat. For Sarek.
Copied posture. Blades low. Irix's core raced. Humans turned palace guard into extensions. One demo. Valith rose. Envoy Cade. Your restraint binds us. Court. Log this. Humans lead protocol in crisis. Applause. Stuttered, then swelled. Aliens copied the stance. Open palms swept the hall. Nemi leaned in. Irix. Data spike. Galactic feed live. Billions watch. Irix nodded. Power shifted, not in blasts. No, in poise. But his pad blared. Core chamber breach. Vorak elite inbound.
Human aid?
Park's wristcom buzzed. Mara's hand rose. Captain. Deeper.
Sarek grinned through chains.
Now it burns.
Vents hissed wider. Shadows moved.
Irix gripped his pad. Guards reformed around the queen. Mara's posture held them steady. The true test ignited. Core destabilizer, armed. Elites breached. Humans stepped forward. Not back. Queen's eyes gleamed. All sectors, humans lead. Palace trembled. First rumble from below. Mara followed. No hesitation. Irix logged. Restraint redefined. But would it hold the core? Sarek whispered. Deeper, always deeper. Nemi pulled feeds. They're in. Vorak, Queen's proxy. Irix's world narrowed. One human act. Galactic rethink. Or fall. Mara's voice echoed up the vents. Captain. Flank left. Posture check. Guards moved. As one. Blades low. Court copied. Valith commanded. Ullo. Irix surged with them. Protocol bent. Survival demanded it. Rumble grew. Core whined. Humans dove in. Calm as routine. Aliens followed. Terrified. Sarek's laugh died. Eyes wide. No, the palace core awaited. Restraint's final proof. Queen Violet's voice sliced through the core chamber's dying whine. Escort Envoy Mara. Archivist Nime. And Legate Sarek to the sealed adjudication vault. Irix snapped to attention. His pad trembled in his grip. The Vorak elites lay disarmed at his feet, their destabilizer dismantled by Captain Park's precise strikes. Human hands had pried open the core without a single wild swing.
Aliens copied their low stances. Blade stayed sheathed.
Mara wiped soot from her face. She nodded to Park, who vaulted back from the vents. No cheers, just calm scans of the room. Sarek strained against his fresh chains. His grin faltered. Majesty, this is... Silence. Valeth's eyes locked on him. The galaxy watches. Move. Irix herded them forward, palace corridors sealed behind. No guards followed. Protocol demanded witnesses only. Billions streamed the feeds. One slip and empires cracked. The vault doors hissed shut. No exits, no weapons. Holoseals glowed on every panel. Valeth claimed the central dais. Her crown pulsed with authority nodes. Speak your truths here, she gestured. Or perish by protocol. Nime activated her projector. A gap in surveillance feeds bloomed across the chamber walls. 6 minutes blacked out. Core breach aligned perfectly. Legate Sarek. Neme's voice stayed flat. Data scrolled beside her. Explain the void. Your signature authorized the override. Sarek's tendrils twitched. He straightened, a technical glitch archivist. Vorak proxies exploited it. I alerted security. Lies. Name tapped her pad. Logs flared. Your access code time-stamped.
You baited the breach to provoke the human. Outburst on galactic feed.
Sanctions follow. Irix's vents tightened. Billions saw humans dive calm into death. Restraint held the core. Sarek laughed. Sharp. Predatory. Provoke. Proof demands action, Queen Violeth. Let the human duel me. Clear the air. One strike. Galactic law permits it.
He stepped toward Mara, chains rattled but held.
His claws flexed. Envoy Cade. Accept the clause. Prove your restraint isn't weakness. Mara met his gaze. No flinch.
She adjusted her cuff. Duel? No, verification ritual instead.
Silence crushed the chamber. Valeth leaned forward. Elaborate. Mara pulled a holo slate from her vest. Standard diplomatic tool. Human make. Binding oath under neutral code. Article 47. Scans neural patterns. Lies trigger neurolock. Paralysis. Permanent, if repeated. I sign first. She pressed her palm to the slate. Light scanned her brainwaves. Green cleared. Irix's pads itched. Humans treated neurolocks like coffee breaks. Aliens whispered of agony in those scans. Sarek sneered.
Trick. Your machine favors humans.
Neutral code.
Calibrated galactic standard. Test it.
Nimi cross-checked. Terrified. No human bias detected. Phalus fingers drummed. Logut sign or forfeit.
Sarek hesitated. His eyes darted to the seals.
Feeds live. Billions judged. Fine. He slammed his claw down. Scan flashed yellow. Warning pulse. Truth serum engages. Mara's voice stayed even. State your intent. Sarek's jaw locked. Words forced out. I authorized the breach. To trigger human rage. Death world outburst. Justify seizure of human assets. Gasps echoed in Irix's audio feeds. Galactic chat exploded. Neme projected the damage. Core nearly lost. Vorak Queen's proxy dead by human precision. Not rage.
Sarek convulsed.
Neurolock gripped. He dropped to knees. Mara knelt beside him. Calm touch on his shoulder. Breathe through it. Standard de-escalation. His eyes widened. Terror. Humans de-escalated locks like headaches. Valeth rose.
Envoy Cade!
Your ritual binds us. What rules now? Mara stood. Truth rules. No duels. No sanctions. Joint investigation. Humans lead core repair. Your analysis embed. Irix logged every syllable. Protocol shattered. Human poise rebuilt it stronger. Sarek gasped free. You monsters. Restraint like that, unnatural.
He recoiled.
Valeth silenced him with a glance.
Chamberlain, transmit the oath galaxy-wide.
Humans choose the rules today. Irix's pad blared confirmations. Feeds surged. Alien shock rippled through comments. They held the core. Calm. Never provoke.
But his private channel pinged. Archivist Nimi whispered data.
Sarek's faction inbound. Armada cloaked. Human aid requested. Doors stayed sealed. Truth hung heavy. One human act forced the rethink. Power in poise. Threat in calm. Vela's eyes gleamed at Mara. Lead, envoy. Before they arrive. Irix gripped his pad. Restraints test deepened. Galactic fleets massed. Humans stepped forward. Again. Captain Park's voice crackled over open comms. Envoy. Sensors hot. Multiple signatures decloaking. Mara nodded. Protocol holds. We verify first.
Sarek whispered from the floor. Deeper.
It always goes deeper. Neme pulled fresh feeds. Cloaks failed. Rival armada exposed. Irix's world narrowed. One room. 4 souls. Billions watched. Human rules locked in. Violith commanded. Sign the embeds, analysts. Follow the humans. Irix surged to comply. Protocol bent. Survival demanded it. But the vault trembled. Armada hailed. Demands incoming. Mara's hand rose. Steady. Captain Park. Flank the signal. Posture check. Aliens copied. Terrified. The true adjudication ignited. Sarek's laugh choked. Eyes wide. No. Vault seals glowed brighter. Rule set. Galactic rethink began.
Or fell.
Irix logged it all. Restraints proof. One controlled act. Armada breached Atmo. First shots probed shields. Mara's voice cut through. Queen. Joint command. Now. Valith nodded. Crown pulsed assent.
Irix forwarded the bind. Feeds went supernova.
Humans dove into crisis. Routine. Aliens followed. Shocked, power shifted. Not in blasts. In poise, but would it hold the fleet? Neme's data spiked. They're arming railguns. Human specs match. Sarek grinned through pain.
Burn now. Vault doors buckled under external hack.
Park vaulted in from shadows. Low profile, no more. Envoy. Deeper. Mara followed. No hesitation.
Irix gripped rails. Guards reformed.
Queen's eyes locked. All sectors. Humans lead. Palace shook. Armada closed. Restraints final test. Core held. Fleet loomed. One human sentence locked it. We verify. Together. Galactic court rethought everything. Vault doors groaned under the hack. Irix Tall clutched the ceremony rail, his frills quivering as sparks flew from the seals. The Armada's probes hammered shields outside. Inside, chaos reigned. Queen Valith stood rigid on the dais, crown pulsing data streams. Envoy Marakade faced Legate Rune Sarek across the adjudication floor. Captain Juno Park shadowed Mara, hands open, posture loose. Sarek sneered, voice amplified through court feeds. Envoy Cade claimed verbatim, human security yields to no threat.
A lie. She yielded to our protocols earlier.
Invoke the lie penalty. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Billions watched via galactic streams. The lie penalty ritual demanded perfect recall. False accusation struck the accuser.
Sarek twisted Mara's words from the opening ceremony. Irix's hearts pounded.
Protocol teetered. One slip, and sanctions crushed Valith's realm. Mara tilted her head, calm. No flinch. Transcript log session Alpha 7. Human security adapts to mutual protocols, yielding nothing to threats. Exact words timestamp 14 hours 22 minutes and 17 seconds UTC equivalent. Silence crushed the air. Irix's console beeped confirmation. Archivist Nene Voss nodded from her station. Data spikes confirming. Mara recited without pause, every syllable precise. No notes. No implants visible. Humans documented everything.
Sarek's mandibles clicked. Preposterous.
The ritual binds, Valith intoned, voice like binding code. Her eyes locked on Sarek. Legate run Sarek, you misquoted. Penalty strikes you. Pain lanced Sarek's frame. Neural whips from the floor lattice activated, calibrated to confession thresholds. He convulsed. Scales paling. Mercy. Faction assets. Frozen, Valith commanded. All Sarek-aligned holdings impounded pending audit. Confess publicly. Now. On the ceremony floor, Sarek slumped, whispering into the record orb. I provoked to bait the Death Worlder. Sanction the human. Seize the palace influence. Feeds broadcasted galaxy-wide. Billions recoiled. Irix forwarded the bind. Protocol held. But the vault shuddered again. Armada railgun signatures bloomed on tactical holos. Nime hissed, shields at 40%. Human specs match, they're syncing fire patterns. Park stepped forward. Envoy. Deeper cover. Mara nodded, retreating to the core vault without haste. Park turned to Sarek. Legate. Escort out.
Sarek staggered up, flanked by guards. Irix watched, frills tight.
Protocol demanded calm. Crisis demanded survival. 3 shadows detached from the crowd. Assassins, cloaks shimmering with disruptor fields, blades gleamed. Park didn't draw, didn't shout. He shifted left, 1 foot forward, blocked the first assassin's lunge with elbow pivot. Second assassin swung high. Park dropped low, swept the leg with hip turn. Third leaped from railings. Park sidestepped, open palm redirecting momentum into the vault wall. Thuds echoed. Assassins crumpled, disarmed by positioning alone. Guards swarmed. Irix blinked. No weapons, no rage. Just placement. Humans read threats like scripts.
Sarek gaped. How? Training, Park said.
Flat. He gripped Sarek's arm, gentle pressure, and walked him to the exit hatch. Doors hissed open to antechamber lockdown.
Valeth's crown flared.
Joint command accepted. Flank the Armada signal. Park released Sarek to guards. Queen. Posture check. Humans verify first. Mara? Mara keyed her wrist unit. Transcript synced. Armada demands. Surrender human envoy or face blockade. Log it. Respond. Verification underway. Joint protocols engage. Irix's console lit. Human embeds locked in. Aliens across the chamber mimicked. Frills straight. Postures mirrored.
Terrified. Inspired.
Nime leaned in. They're arming countermeasures. Railgun cooldowns match ours exactly. No overkill. Vault core stabilized. Shields held at 28%. Armada probes circled. Hails multiplying. Sarek's faction feeds glitched offline. Frozen assets tallied in trillions. Confession looped on every channel. Irix logged it. Restraints proof. Mara reviewed holos, annotating discrepancies. Queen. Embed this. All factions document threats before response. Valeth nodded. Sign the embeds, analysts. Follow the humans. Irix surged to comply. Fingers flew. Protocol bent. Survival demanded it. But the Armada tightened orbit. First kinetic slugs tested outer shields. Palace trembled. Feeds supernovaed with panic. Mara's voice cut through. Captain Park. Pattern the barrage. Joint fire control. Park vaulted to the command nexus. Flanking now. Posture neutral. Guards reformed around Valeth. Irix gripped rails tighter. Humans dove into crisis. Routine. No outburst. No explosion. Nemi spiked data. Human override syncing. Our arrays boosting 30% efficiency. Sarek's parting laugh choked from the antechamber feed. No, they document. Vilas' eyes locked on Mara. Envoy. Lead the verification. Mara recited Armada manifests from memory. Exact ship counts. Weapon yields. We verify. Together. Railgun choirs answered. Not in fury. In precision. Aliens followed. Shocked. Power shifted. Not in blasts. In poise. Irix forwarded the final bind. Galactic court feeds exploded. Humans don't explode, they document. Armada faltered. Probes scattered. But core vaults glowed hotter. Hack signatures deepened. Restraints test peaked. One human glance from Mara. Steady. Next log. Irix's frills froze. They planned layers ahead. Billions watched. The rethink ignited. Shields flickered. Breach imminent. Valeth commanded. All sectors. Humans lead. Palace shook harder.
Fleet loomed.
Documentation's edge held. Or snapped. Park's voice crackled. Intruders inbound. Positioning.
Irix drew his ritual blade. Protocol demanded follow.
Survival demanded more. Core seals buckled. Shadows breached. Mara stood. Calm. Reciting. Verifying. Galactic eyes widened. The real rule dawned. Shadows breached the core vault. Intruders slithered through fractured seals. Probe drones, jagged with Sarek's faction sigils. Irix's ritual blade hummed in his grip. Protocol screened for severance. Cut the breach. Seal the queen. Valeth rose from her Nexus throne. Court reconvenes. Now. Mara Cade stepped forward. Her voice cut the alarms. Verification complete. Intruder vectors logged.
Captain Park, joint containment. Park's team fanned out.
No shouts, no frenzy. They synced with palace guards, hands signaling precise blocks. Drones halted mid-swarm. Human overrides locked their nabs. Irix's frills quivered. Humans documented mid-invasion. Sarek's plot crumbled on feeds. Data streams spiked. Queen human patterns boost our firewalls. Breach contained in 17 seconds. Valeth's gaze pinned Mara. Envoy, co-witness the vow script. We rewrite it live. Court channels blared open. Billions tuned in from orbiting fleets. Irix's claws shook as he projected the ancient oath hologram. Words glowed. Eternal fealty, isolation pacts, death world quarantines. Vileth's voice sliced clean. Obsolete. Chamberlain, amend.
Irix swallowed dry protocol. Line 7. Humans yield to galactic mandate.
Strike it. Mara nodded once. Her eyes scanned the script. No flinch at the palace tremors. Add mutual verification. Crises shared. No sanctions without joint logs. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Legate Run Sarek burst from the antechamber. His robes flared. Blasphemy. Humans rage unbound. This breach proves it. Valeth ignored him.
Swear it, Envoy.
Co-witness binds us. Mara placed her palm on the hologram. Calm as reciting lunch orders. I, Mara Kade, Envoy of Humanity, swear the corrected oath. Mutual crisis clause invoked. We verify together. Stability for all. The script sealed in light. Palace arrays hummed approval. Irix's display flashed. Galactic feeds exploding. Human oath? Equal terms? Sarek lunged forward. She baits us. Deathworlders feign calm to strike. Captain Juno Park shifted. One hand rose. Neutral posture, Sarek froze under that gaze. No weapon drawn, just presence. Irix seized the cue. His voice boomed across palace comms. New protocol enacted. Humans designated stability partners. Not threats. All sectors. Comply. Guards echoed the order. Drones retracted fully. Nami scans confirmed. 0 losses. Human logs integrated seamlessly. Valeth stood taller. Her crown pulsed with authority feeds. Hear my sentence again. She projected it galaxy-wide. Who among you will match human restraint or forfeit alliance? Silence crushed the court. Sarek's face paled. Factions hesitated. Probes from rival fleets pulled back. Irix forwarded the signature slate. Queen commands answers. Sign now. One by one, legates approached. Stilly touched the vow. Sarek snarled but complied last, his claw trembling. Signatures at 90%. Human claws holds. Panic subsides, but core vaults still glowed. Deeper hacks pulsed. Restraints test, layered on. Valeth turned to Mara. Lead the next verification. Mara pulled up manifests.
Intruder cores. Sarek faction yield. 2.3 teratons. Our counters logged.
Joint purge? Park's voice crackled. Positioned. Your arrays sync? Palace techs nodded. Humans deferred. Aliens led the purge code. Irix watched drones dissolve in precision fire. No overkill. Exact yields.
Sarek spat. Trickery.
They hide fury. Valeth's eyes narrowed. They document. You provoke. Signatures bind you silent. More legates signed. Feeds showed fleets realigning. Billions whispered. Humans don't explode. They endure. Irix gripped his blade tighter. Protocol bent, but held. His frills eased for the first time. Nime spiked fresh data. Queen Archivist confirm. Human restraint metrics exceed ours. By factors. Valeth nodded. Announce it, Chamberlain. Irix broadcast wide. Court metrics verified. Humans as stability partners. Protocols updated. All factions integrate.
Sarek wheeled away.
His faction channels muted under signature weight, but alarms ticked again. Outer hull stressed. Armada shadows loomed closer. Mara glanced at Park. Flank protocols ready? Affirmative. Neutral posture. Valeth reconvened subsets. Envoy. Co-witness vault seals. Mara recited breach logs flawlessly. Ship counts. Timestamps. Palace arrays cross-checked. Perfect sync, Irix marveled. Humans treated Galactic Siege as checklist. Nime murmured. They're calm. It's weaponized. Sarek underestimated. Court filled anew. Holograms of faction heads flickered in. Valeth projected the vow script once more. Sign beneath my sentence. Match their restraint. Stylidized signatures flooded. Sarek's proxy signed last. Defeated. Galactic feeds ignited. The Queen speaks. The galaxy signs beneath it.
Irix's console blared. Full compliance.
Fleets peeled away. But one shadow lingered. Deep hack signature flared. Mara stood. Steady. Next log? Valeth smiled faintly. Together, Palace stabilized. Power shifted not in blasts but poise. Irix sheathed his blade. Protocol evolved. Restraint won. For now. Core seals groaned. Final shadow breached. Park vaulted forward. Joint control. Humans led. Aliens followed. The real rule etched in signatures. Never provoke what endures. Valeth's sentence echoed eternal. Who among you will match human restraint or forfeit alliance? The galaxy had signed.
Sarik's laugh died forever. Irix forwarded the bind.
Billions watched. Rethink complete. One drone slipped through. Armed. Mara recited its code. Neutral. Park blocked. Court gasped. Humans. Routine. Nime sealed the last log. Stable. Valeth rose. Court adjourned. Partners stand.
Irix exhaled. Survival in syllables.
Achieved. But feeds whispered. Deeper layers probed. Restraint's true test dawned.